Hey guys, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. My name is Nathan Masters, and this is the first video for Phase 2 of my job lot that I talked about back in November. So, as I mentioned in some of those videos, a lot of these pieces actually need a lot more attention than the regular lots. As you can see, there's some stuff on here that's pretty sticky and won't come off with just a rinse. So for these kinds of pieces, and these are just a fraction of pieces in the entire lot, for these kind of pieces, I'm doing a longer soak. So in here, in this tub, you can see this has actually been soaking for almost an hour and a half, close to 2 hours, and I'm working my way through these one by one. To do this for every piece in the lot would be really nice, and it would ensure that everything gets really clean, but for lots this size, it isn't really realistic. I want to be sure to do it for the pieces that need it. Everything else is going to get a rinse, but more attention given to these kind of pieces. So tools here for this process is just warm soapy water, and after a while the bubbles kind of die out, but that's fine. The soap and water does its job when it's soaking. And then I have two different scrubbers. This one is more for the plates that are these larger size, and then this is my rinse pool over here. And then the toothbrush just helps with some of the smaller pieces, especially getting down inside. So let's find one of these pieces that really needs some work. Here is a 2x4 little wheel arch. And as you can see, as this has been soaking, this stuff just kind of starts to fall off and flake off on its own, which is really nice. So we'll get a little bit of water running here so that it can just kind of rinse off. And that actually does the trick for the most part. A little bit of scrubbing required with the toothbrush to get the rest of it. And if you try to do this without soaking it, it is more difficult. I've run a couple of different test rounds to see what the ideal kind of timing is on that. As long as it's soaking for about half an hour, that does the trick most of the time. Some of it does need more work if it's a different kind of thing that's stuck on there, but most of that stuff actually comes off pretty nice. And as you can see, we've got all that stuff completely removed with a quick rinse and the toothbrush. Now that'll go into my soaking pool. This is just another thing of clean water. Get everything kind of one more rinse through, and then this will get drained and dried tonight. So I've got that to do, the rest of this bin, and this is probably about a third or a fourth of all the pieces. So I'll be doing this process a couple more times, and then of course the remaining pieces that don't need individual attention will get their kind of bulk rinse, and the same process with the drying. And that's when I'll start sorting, and that'll probably be the phase 3 for the series. But phase 2 is this cleaning job, and then kind of 2 levels of cleaning for this particular job lot. So just for reference here, I've finished up cleaning all the pieces and wanted to do a little comparison of the final result in the water. Just keep in mind, this was all on the Lego, so if you don't wash your bulk lots, especially your really dirty bulk lots, this is going to be on your Lego, and I wouldn't imagine anyone would want that, but it is a little bit of work to get that cleaned off, especially for the stuff that's sticky. So that's what the final cleaning tub looks like, and then on the left is fresh water in the same tub, or clean water I guess. So all of that being on the Lego, and then most of it here left in the tub. Some of the really bad stuff actually washed down as I was doing the rinse. So pretty interesting just looking at the final result, some of the larger chunks in there and some hair and all that crap we don't really want. Hopefully this is a good enough visual for you guys to convince you the value in doing some cleaning, even if it's just a rinse. It's really helpful for the sake of having a clean collection, and whoever that gets passed on to next. Just something to keep in mind. So this is phase 2 batch 1 on the drying blanket, drying towel for tonight, and here's what's left for the job lot. This will probably stretch into 2021. This is the middle of December recording, but this is probably going to be posted right at the end of the year. So this is the bin that I've gone through to find the worst of the worst. There's probably a little more in here to get, but for the most part that's all. Once this dries, we'll start doing the phase 3 sort. It's going to be the phase 2 and phase 3, the cleaning and the sorting kind of going on at the same time. As I get stuff cleaned, I'll begin that sorting process, and then as things continue to get through the cycle for phase 2, that will be going into phase 3. But in terms of putting the videos out on the channel, I'm going to keep all of phase 2 together and then start posting phase 3 when that's done. So this will be the most in-depth one for phase 2, but if there's a different technique for cleaning something that I wanted to cover, we'll probably look at that. And then phase 3 will get into the actual sorting process. Like I mentioned, probably into 2021 a little ways, depending on how fast things go and if I actually have room available to sort all of this. I am going to count and get a final count for every individual piece, and that's part of the sorting and inventory process. So I will have that down the road, but that's where we're at right now, just beginning phase 2. And again, phase 1 all covered back earlier on the channel a month or two ago. Just looking at doing the initial sort to get out all of the stuff that is not Lego. So pretty close to 100% Lego in here. I have found a few things that I missed the first time around, but 5 pieces out of 20,000 isn't bad so far, 30,000. But yeah, that's all part of phase 1 was the initial sort. Now moving into phase 2 with the clean, and phase 3 with the final sort coming up later down the road. See you guys.